This is J. Allen Smith, and you're listening to Outdoor Adventures with Jayson Sacco.
Welcome to Outdoor Adventures with Jayson. Each week, I bring the world of hunting, fishing, and conservation to you. From the great hunting and fishing opportunities found in the Americas to the dream safaris located on the dark continent and beyond. I'll introduce you to those who are already out in the field living every outdoor enthusiast's dream, as well as outfitters and gear manufacturers that can make those dreams your reality. Welcome to this episode of Outdoor Adventures with Jayson. As many of my listeners know, I've recently moved back to Michigan and I've been connecting with a lot of great hunting companies throughout the state. And this is no exception this week. I've got a video production person on the line who's a fantastic hunter from Michigan. I've got Scott Wiseman of EP Adventures. Scott, how are you doing this morning?
Good, Jayson. Good. Thank you so much for the invite and welcome home.
Oh, thanks. It's always fun coming back. I've been gone so long. I'm trying to brush up on all the hunting rules so I don't confuse them with where I've been living.
Well, I'll tell you what, in Michigan, there's a lot of new rules coming, so you better read that book good.
Isn't that the truth? So, as I'm scrolling through and looking at different things throughout the day, I happen to land upon your Facebook page.
Yeah.
Which, of course, led me to some video clips that you have posted on Facebook. And I started watching them, and next thing I knew, about 2 hours later, I was like, oh, crap, I got to get going on what I was doing.
That's awesome.
I kind of got lost here watching and searching through everything. So I'd ask, because my listenership around the globe and not just in Michigan, tell folks a little bit about EP Adventures. Tell folks about Scott Wiseman and how did you get going with this?
Well, it started, probably 10 years ago now. Just a group of friends. We just started going out, filming our hunt, just for fun. Honestly, the more we got watching everything that's on the TV this time of age, we said, you know what? I think people want to see some realistic hunting. People would enjoy watching Average Joe. And that's exactly what we are, is we're Average Joe. I mean, there's nothing special about us. We don't travel around the globe hunting. We don't go to hunting lodges that put us in a four-wheeler and drive us up to a tree stand and tell us a buck's going to come through about 4:15, so be ready. We hunt a lot of public land. Gina, my wife, that's primarily all we hunt is public land. A lot of the guys on the team, it's public land hunting. I mean, we work hard for the animals that we take. The biggest thing with EP Adventures, too, that is different than what most people are used to seeing on TV is the trophy is in the eye of the beholder. And what that means is it doesn't matter what anybody thinks of the animal that you harvest except you. If you're happy with that animal, Jayson, we are happy for you. And that's what we're all about. And we're all about having fun. So we took that footage and we started off doing regional TV. From regional, we went to national, did national TV for 4 or 5 years. And then we decided, to make a team decision. That's another thing, too. It's not Scott Wiseman. When it comes to EP Adventures, it's Chris Wolf, CJ Wolf, Brian Waite, Gina Wiseman, Mike Indriff, the entire EP staff, Mike Hausman, and Jeff Stockhill. We all come together as a team, so there's not just one person. So anyways, we came together, and we decided that TV wasn't for us anymore. We said, let's just give it to the public, and we started doing a hunting DVD series, and it's going really well. We're in a couple hundred different stores. We just picked up Meijer, which September 1 will be in roughly 100 different Meijer locations. Right on the end caps of the sporting good aisles, you'll be able to find us, and that's what we do. We just go out and have fun, Jayson. That's all it is. We're nothing special. We're just average hunters that get down, and we're raw.
Very neat. And for folks that aren't familiar with Meijer, Meijer is Super Walmart before Super Walmart even knew it was going to exist. For those of us that grew up in Michigan and Indiana, northern Indiana, and so forth, maybe even Ohio, Meijer is where you always went. So it gives you a little point of reference to how big of a deal that is to be getting into Meijer.
Yeah, Meijer's a great store, and we are really blessed and, really thankful that we got the opportunity from them. And to be a first-year company with Meijer, too, to say, hey, we want you guys on our end cap, which, if you know anything about retail, that's a pretty big deal, too. So we're pretty happy about that. I think last season they had one of our partners on their end caps, Rage Broadhead. So it's kind of cool to stick my elbow out and tell them to scoot over a little bit. But
You've been bumped.
Yes, exactly.
So when a lot of folks have gone from distributing their shows online and so forth, you've actually gone in and built up a DVD library, which is kind of neat. Tell the folks a little bit, how many DVDs are you sitting on? 6, it looks like, maybe?
Yep, we're sitting on 6 series right now. Each season we try to come out with a new name, a new title. Just this past 2017 season was called Stormy Weather, and that was brought to you by Rage Broadheads. Each year it's a different title, a different theme.
What's one of the most popular ones if somebody was to order one or two of them?
Yeah, that's a good question. My first one started was called String Music, and that's 100% bow hunting, primarily public land. We sell a tremendous amount of those. We also came out with Family Traditions. That was our second one we came out with, and that's getting the kids involved, all about family. You know, bow hunting is a huge family tradition in my family, like I know many others. That's a great video. There's nothing better, Jason, than watching a child take their first deer. I don't care what you watch. You could watch someone make a 200-yard shot on an elk through the heart and this and that. There's nothing better than watching a child take their first animal. And that's what Family Traditions is all about. From there, we put together one called Stars and Stripes. Now, this one's a really cool one because we dedicated every hunt to a Michigan veteran, past or present. So every hunt on this video, you're going to be seeing a veteran that's recognized in it. And that's a really good video. We've gotten a lot of great response from that. Then we also have a Havoc series. Last year, 2017, we just did Stormy Weather, which was brought to you by Rage Broadheads, and that'll be releasing here in the next 2 weeks. But yeah, it's fun, you know, and like you said, you know, with YouTube and all that, you know, a lot of people are not seeing the DVDs like they used to, and that's all right. As long as, you know, the Ion videos and the red boxes, as long as they're not going nowhere, DVD players aren't going anywhere. And there's nothing better than putting in a DVD and sitting in your recliner, you know, that you don't have to watch on your laptop. It's a fun experience for everyone to do it that way.
Very much. And there's times when I know we'll head up to where we deer hunt on occasion, and there's no internet there. So you bring the DVD player, you throw a DVD in, and it's usually some hunting DVD or something. See I've got a few new things to be looking forward to.
Right, you know, we actually get that same response when we do our expos, which the next expo coming up is Woods and Water in Emily City. But we get a lot of people that come up and they stock up on them just to bring to their hunting camp, you know, and then they sit back and they have dinner and they have a few pops, and that's what they do, you know, it's fun.
Yeah, because Lord knows most of them aren't getting anything out in the woods, so they might as well watch it on TV.
Exactly.
And one that you've got there that I really is of interest to me, they all look real interesting, but the one that I've leaned towards earlier when I first started looking through your stuff a while ago was Feathers a Flying.
Yeah, that's 100% Michigan turkey hunting with multiple decapitations. You know, our goal with this video was, okay, guys, let's chop some heads off. You know, let's see how close we can get these turkeys to the blind, and let's shoot them in the head and see what happens. So it actually worked out pretty well, as you'll see. We chopped a few heads off, and it's a fun video to watch.
Unlike, say, television shows like on the major networks, on your DVDs, you can show everything. You can show it live. You don't have to recreate anything. You don't have to try to make things up. What you see is what you get.
That's actually, Jason, you're right on the money, and that's a great point because that's honestly one of the reasons why we left television networks. You know, we started with regional and we did national for a while, and people don't understand that a lot of what you're watching can be BS. I mean, you do have rules that you have to follow on these networks, and you can only follow the animal for a certain amount of time with the camera before you have to remove the camera, you know, or you edit it. You can watch the animal run for up to a few seconds. You can't watch an animal go down. You know, what really irked me the most was, you know, to come clean is when you're on a track. To us, I mean, the track is the most exciting part to see. You're going to see the blood when you go out hunting. All right? I mean, you're going to see it. And if you're telling your kids that they're not going to see it, you're lying. So anyways, on these tracks, when we would recover the animal, that wasn't us recovering the animal, truly recovering the animal. Because most time when you recover an animal, you as a hunter, Jason, know they're going to have blood coming out of the nose. Their tongue's going to be hanging out. It's going to look like a bloodbath. Well, take a minute or so, and you got to clean up, make the animal look really pretty, back up, start all over. Oh, there he is. It just drove me nuts. So that is one thing that, like I said, we're raw. you're going to see the blood. You're going to see the gut. I'm not afraid to gut an animal. You're going to see how to do it. We have a great partner in Outdoor Edge knives. I'm going to show you how these knives work, and I'm going to show you exactly how we use them, and that's what we do. So like you said, yes, we will show you everything that you're going to see.
Well, and for the listeners, if you head out to epadventures.com, you'll go right to Scott and his team's website, and it's really laid out nice and easy to navigate. There's the home, there's a spot for pro staff, pictures for shopping.
Yeah, it's a great page. BlueVortex.net runs that page and created that page for us, and they just do a tremendous job, as you see, with it. So, I'm always giving my hats off to BlueVortex.net. They just do a fabulous job.
And I like this. There's even a section on tips, and
yeah, yep.
The one here I was seeing is fooling a bear's nose. Now, I've gone bear hunting once, and I'm about 99.999% sure they knew I was there. They just wanted the treats more than they cared whether I was there or not.
Right.
Little did she know that she was safer with me there than not there.
Yeah, I think the video that you're talking about was it the Killer Fuflox scent spray, the Sufis?
Well, I was just under your tips.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's a video on there that I did showing what we do when we, go to Ontario or something bear hunting. Is we'll actually send a bottle of Killer Fuflox bear spray. They got peanut butter and grape and all kinds of good stuff. But what we do is 2 weeks before we come on that bear hunt, we'll send a bottle out to our buddies who are running the baits for us, and they'll start spraying that scent all over the bait site. So when we come to hunt that stand, we'll also bring in a bottle and spray that scent, and they're used to it. So when someone's baiting a bear site, that bear gets accustomed to that person's scent. So when my scent comes in there, automatically know it's a different scent. I'm not the one that's been baiting it. So if I come in with the same scent spray that my buddy has, we usually fool them every time.
Yeah, it was interesting. Do you know, several years ago we went fishing in the French River in Ontario.
Oh, okay.
And for folks that don't know, this is just a beautiful, wild area, mainly inhabited by summer residents. So we happened to be up there a little bit early, and we're at this little camp fishing. They're gathering all the waste, and the cook goes, "Hey, come on with me." So my brother and I, we walk out, and we said, "What?" She says, "Watch this." So we walk back, and there's an old boat that's kind of half buried, and she pours everything in that boat, and she says, "Okay, back up about 15 feet. So we back up, and she bangs, the buckets.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't 30 seconds later, here's this big bear head pops out of the trees right behind that boat. And I said, "Holy cow." I said, "The only way that bear got there that quick is because it's sleeping right there." She goes, "Oh, yeah." She goes, "He's right on the other side of those things. He lays there and waits for me to come and bring," and then I just bang the dinner bell, which is banging the buckets together.
Right, yeah, she was ringing the dinner bell. And that, you'll actually see a lot of outfitters do that. They'll come and rattle the buckets around and, bang the sticks around, and that'll wake up. A bear's just once a bear gets a good food source, he's just going to go to bed within couple hundred yards, and he'll wait all day until he hears that noise. It's time to eat.
Yeah, they recognize the engine sounds. If it's a different vehicle, they're an amazingly smart animal.
That's right, they are. Bears.
And what threw me is when I was sitting out there, there was no bear, and then there was a bear.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And I always thought, oh, wow, this is no problem. They'll make plenty of noise coming in. Deer make more noise than the bears.
No, they actually, as you'll learn, they're called the black ghost. They will slip in. I don't know how they do it, those padded paws, but they will just slip in like they're floating on air.
Yeah, that was the quietest animal I ever heard come in. Or the quietest animal I never heard come in, I should say.
What, did you kill it?
No. She was quite safe with me out there. I missed. Matter of fact,
it happens, Jayson.
I was sitting 27 yards up when everybody says, "Oh, you missed it 27 yards?" Well, I was at the top of the hill, and she was at the bottom. And
okay.
I was not accounting for the arrow drop from shooting downhill. And so I shaved a few of her belly hairs off with a couple of arrows.
Well, at least you got some souvenirs to take home.
Let's just say she wasn't real happy, and at one point I thought the only blood trail they were going to find was mine. And the other thing I was looking at as I was going through, and you've mentioned a couple of them with Rage and Outdoor Edge, but you've got some great sponsors, both Michigan-based companies as well as companies around the United States that you're working with. So you've got...
Yeah, we're very blessed to have some great partners, and, they've done so much for us by, just getting our name out, and, it's teamwork, and we got some great partners, Rage and Nocturnal Lighted Knots. We're shooting Moxie Archery, Moxie bows now. We shoot dart and crossbows. Just great people to work with. We got another Michigan partner that we started working with, Top 10%. For the guys on the team that do own land and, have access to hunting private property, Top 10% is a company that comes in and they will literally tell you where you're going to kill the buck and what time you're going to kill the buck. I mean, these guys are so knowledgeable with land management. It's unbelievable. I mean, from putting in food plots to setting up your locations and your pinch points, the best possible spot on your land where you can hunt. These guys are going to show you. I've known guys that have hunted their properties for 15, 20 years, and they had Top 10% come in, and they thought, holy cow, we've been hunting this property totally wrong. And what do you know, the next 2 years, they're just sending me photos of these bucks that they're killing, and I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding me. That's the same property you've been hunting for 10 years? So, I mean, you guys definitely have to check out Top 10%. Just a great Michigan company.
And, yeah, you've got one of the places I absolutely love, Jay's Sporting Goods. And you were telling me before we started the interview that you and the crew show up there quite a bit at Jay's.
Yeah, we try to get up there every single year in September. We'll go up there, and I don't have the dates for this year yet, but it'll be coming up here soon. It's already August. But we'll spend a Saturday, and we love inviting people up to Jay's to meet us, and we'll have a box full of hats, and we love signing hats and taking pictures with you. And we love sharing hunting stories with you, so we'll definitely we'll put a post on our Facebook when that date's going to be, but we'd love to meet you. And, we always learn stuff about hunting, even from our followers, which is it's always a fun day at Jay's when we do that.
Great. So they can follow the Facebook page of EP Adventures.
Yep, follow the Facebook page, and we usually 2 weeks prior, we'll start advertising that we'll be there. And yeah, bring the kids down and, just come on down and meet us. And it's always fun to meet our followers,
And you can't go wrong. Jay's is a version of large big box stores, but the cool thing is you can get help. You've got extremely knowledgeable people that have worked there forever.
Absolutely.
And so, you go to the Claire one, correct?
Actually, we do both. We'll split up. Gina and I usually will go to the Claire one, and then there's the one Gaylord. So I think Chris Wolf and CJ Wolf will be running the Gaylord one this year, and then Gina and I will be at Claire.
I tell everybody, head out to EP Adventures. There's a Connect tab. Go ahead and send them a general contact form if you want to be contacted with anything, or you have information, or you have questions. Scott's also got his email address right there, which is scott@epadventures.com, so don't hesitate to reach out. And then if you're a company that is listening and has something that you think might be a good fit, give Scott a holler.
Oh, for sure, absolutely. We love helping out great companies. I mean, as you can see, and we give it 100%. Everyone we work with, and the main thing is we're having fun. Another cool thing too about the partners that we do have is on our social media page on Facebook. We try to do weekly giveaways where our partners they come through and they'll give us this product to give back to our followers. So. I mean, you might see next week, you might see a pack of Rage Broadheads. We're going to do a giveaway, guys, and we'll set up a little contest. Post a picture of the last deer you've ever taken or something, and share this post. And it's a fun time. Our contests are great. And I think out of a lot of the Facebook pages, we do have the funnest one there is because we're constantly having a good time with giveaways.
Yeah, it's definitely, I encourage folks to jump out there and follow on Facebook. Yeah, I'm just going through as we're talking. Well, there's obviously the archery season in Michigan. One of the things, and we talked a little bit about this with coming up with the Imlay City Outdoor Show, which is in Michigan. You've got the real rage taken on in archery right now, no pun intended, is the 3D archery. Yeah, 3D archery is super fun. And, we just actually partnered up with a 3D company, Shooter Buck Target. We're going to be bringing a bunch of targets with us to the Imlay City Woods and Water Weekend, and we're going to be doing, if you ever met us at the Expo, I don't know if you know, but every hour on the hour from Friday to Sunday, we do a giveaway.
And we're going to be coming with some shooter buck 3D targets, a wild boar, some buck, turkey, bear. Shooter buck targets has a variety of different targets, and we're going to be bringing them and making sure someone goes home with each one. So, yeah, you have to come down to Inwood City and check us out.
And it's very neat because I was over at looking at their shooter website and their 3D targets. You know, that's one thing is there's some target companies that make these amazing 3Ds, but you don't know how to shoot them. They're too expensive.
And that was the biggest decision why we wanted to work with Shooter Buck, is because the prices are realistic. I mean, they are realistic prices. I mean, you know, the average worker, they can go and fill their backyard with some great targets.
Yeah, I could put a bear, a big buck, crossbow buck, which can easily handle, you know, compound bow as well, a couple of turkey for, in many cases, less than $500.
Oh, easy. I'm sure you could throw in a few woodchuck, too.
Yeah, and you've got other companies that are going to be, some of them are targets, are pushing $500.
Yeah, I know. It's a shame. It really is a shame. I mean, it's expensive enough, you know, just to get your hunting licenses and your arrows, let alone, you know, the stuff that people are charging these days. You know, that's why I really respect Shooter Buck targets. You know, they're good people, and, you know, they want to make people smile, and they can make anybody smile.
Yeah, if you've got an acre or 2, 3, and you want to put a small 3D archery course on your property, you can do it fairly inexpensive.
Gina and I have our backyard set up like that. It's really fun.
Very neat option, very neat company. I encourage folks to take a look at them as well. We'd spend all day here going through all the great sponsors. I feel like I'm shortchanging folks because there's so many good ones.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, if we're using a product, Jason, it's because we believe in it, and there's definitely a reason why. I mean, we're not using stuff because, oh, yeah, you guys are using it. I'd use anything too if they just gave it to me or this and that. It's complete baloney. I mean, we're using stuff because we truly believe in the product, and there's a reason why we use it. You know, I mean, in Shooter Bucks, like everything you just mentioned, that's why.
And there's one product you have here that, you know, I've spent the last 13 years in Texas, and generally we don't climb trees in Texas to shoot out of them. They aren't big enough.
Oh, right, yeah, right.
But we go up into stands and stuff like that, but mostly ground hunt. But here in, you know, Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, with a lot of these tree stands, you work with Hunter Safety System.
Yes, a fabulous company. I'm talking life changers. They truly are life changers. You know, we actually had a Facebook contest not too long ago for them. Sometimes you'll see a contest come up where we'll ask you to message our partners something. And the message that we were asking our followers to send to Hunter Safety System was, thank you for saving life. So at the end of the contest, Hunter Safety System went in to the messages, and they picked a winner who messaged, thank you for saving life. And, you know, it's very true. They have saved so many lives. Safety is number one. When you're cold, when you're climbing, you know, climbing sticks and you're stepping onto a tree stand, especially here in Michigan, you know, as you know, ice, dewy mornings, slippery, you've got to be safe. It's amazing. If you go to Hunter Safety Systems page, huntersafetysystem.com, you'll see testimonials from families actually saying, thank you, you saved my husband's life. Thank you, you saved my son's life. It's powerful. They're a really powerful company.
All it takes is one video of a person that wasn't wearing one. And if you're going to climb a tree, and because I'm handicapped, I don't hunt out of trees. I can't climb them. So I always hunt off the ground. And heck, I can fall on the ground too. But if you're climbing trees, if you don't want to wear one of these, you're nuts. And if you don't want to do it for yourself, and I know this is an old adage, but do it for your wife, your kids, you know, whoever.
You're right. You know, Hunter Safety System, you know, has a motto, and it goes, don't make your next hunt your last. And, you know, I just think that's something really to think about.
Oh, very much. And the old ones, you know, and I'm talking old going back 30, 40 years, they served a purpose, but you could get tied up in the ropes, and they could be let's face it, they could be a pain. But it was a necessary safety, but they could be a pain.
Absolutely, they could. You know, and actually, you know, I'll say this, I think a lot of people back in the day, they did fall because of the pain, because of, you know, setting this thing up in the dark and trying to get clipped on. You know, and Hunter Safety System just erased all that and made it so much easier. I mean, you're wearing almost like a jacket now. It's a comfortable vest that goes You can wear it under your hunting jacket, which is what I do a lot. You can wear it right underneath your hunting jacket, and then the loop comes up over your collar. It's so much easier. There's no, I guess the best way to put it is monkey business. There's no monkey business anymore. And I think monkey business really hurt a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and they have, even when you look at their front website, I happen to pull it up here, and they have a basic bow hunter's bundle. And realistically, nowadays, your boots are harder to get on than these safety systems. You can, I mean, we're talking $60. And if you want the one that's a little more upgraded, maybe you're a little bit of a larger person and you want something that holds a little bit more, $119. So you're not talking a fortune compared to what it would cost you in medical bills.
No, that's you're going to save a lot of money rather than paying a hospital bill, I can tell you that.
Exactly. Just take a look. That's what they charge you for a box of Kleenex at a hospital.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
So you said you're shooting now, Moxie Archery. Tell folks, I've shot a crossbow for years. I shoot an Excalibur crossbow, but I've just recently got the bug to try archery, and I bought a compound bow, and I have not had enough time to use it this year, so it's not going to do anything but stay in its box this year and keep shooting targets. Actually, I haven't shot anything with it yet, which is the biggest problem. But tell listeners, when you're using your bow, because I get this a lot, tell a little bit about your setup, if you don't mind.
The bow I'm shooting from Moxie is the Oregon, and then what we have for sights is IQ, bow sights. We use quality archer design drop-away rest. The arrows we shoot are Carbon Express. We shoot the Maxima Red, and we have the nocturnal lighted knock on the end of the Maxima Reds. And on the front is, of course, Rage. And the broadhead we enjoy the most is the new Tri-Pan that just came out, which is ridiculously awesome. But yeah, these Moxie bows are smooth. You know, I'm not the type of guy that shoots nonstop. I mean, for me, time is real crucial. So I don't have a lot of time to get out and practice. I need a bow that's going to be quiet, smooth, dependable, and accurate. And that's what we found with Moxie Archery. You know, they're a great company. They're really looking to take off, and we're trying to help them as much as we can. And we're going to get the name out there. And I think once people start seeing these bows, they're going to fall in love with them. Gene is shooting the Angel X, and they got a Hilo that just came out. They're a great company. So John, the owner, lives down in Florida, and he's a super guy. We stay in contact at least once a week. And yeah, it's a great company. And like I said, I'm no champion shooter, but I just need something dependable when I come to full draw.
Oh, sure. And I'd encourage folks to go out and take a look, because the one thing I'm seeing on this is I'm looking at the Origin right now.
Yep.
And it's a stripped down bow. And what I mean by that is so many bows are sold in packages now where you're paying for a product that you might want to switch out anyway.
Right.
That in reverse, Moxie's gone and says, I'm not going to give you any of the rests and the, anything. You add to it what you want to add to it.
Yep, you're right. You know, another good thing, too, about Moxie is that they really fit well with us is if you look at their page, they are so about the military. You know, they give their military discounts, and, you know, they're really thankful for their veterans, and, you know, everyone needs to be. Without our veterans, we wouldn't be having this conversation because there wouldn't be any hunting. You know, I mean, everything, all glory goes to our vets out there, Jayson, and, you know, Moxie really believes in that as well.
Very neat. Yeah, this is a neat bow setup. I was just kind of flipping through the different bows. So I'd encourage folks to take a look. They've got setups, for example, on this Origin that Scott's shooting. They've got draw weights that start at 30 pounds and go all the way up to 80 pounds with an 80% let off.
Yep, I got mine set at 70 pounds, and you can go to our Facebook page. You'll see some video clips of me shooting it, but that baby really cooked. And I just started shooting that particular bow last spring, and I got a few animals in my bow already with it, which you'll see. So it's a good shooter.
And so if anybody wants to order the DVDs, they can come to your website.
Yep, they sure can. Or they can also go, we do have a shop menu right on our Facebook page now where it's super easy. You can actually go right to our Facebook page while you're having fun on that, and you can go to shop now and you can make your purchases right there too.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. And then for folks that are in the area where Meyer is at, various stores have the various DVDs depending on what stock is at that time.
Yep, they're gonna have them all. So there's going to be a nice display case right on the end caps, and yeah, you can just take your pick and continue to follow the series as we make them.
Oh, very cool. So last but not least, as we're talking, what's the one animal in Michigan you love to hunt?
In Michigan, I would definitely have to say an elk. But the odds of actually drawing a tag, I'm hoping I'm still alive, Jason.
So
yeah, it's not easy.
Elk is if I remember right, a once-in-a-lifetime draw in the state, and you have to be a Michigan resident to put in for it.
Correct.
Okay.
And then, I will say that I've been applying for a Michigan bear tag going on 10 years now, and wouldn't you know, I got denied again. So I'm sure there's guys out there shaking their head thinking, oh my gosh, I've applied 13 years. But that kind of just kind of makes me just shake my head because, the area that I want to hunt the bear in, which is the Baldwin unit, there are so many bear up there. It's just unbelievable. I don't know if a deer, if they get out and ride the roads like I do around that area, looking for bear, but they are out there. I mean, trail cameras. I don't have one single trail camera in the woods that doesn't have bear on it. There's bear all over the place, and I don't know what the number is. I gave up on it. I don't know what the number of tags they're giving out, but they need to up it, I believe.
Well, I've been buying preference points, and I'm up to 6 bear preference points, so I don't know if that's going to sounds like it's going to get me nothing.
No, it's going to get you absolutely nowhere. So while you were in Texas, then you've still been applying?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Okay. Yeah, well, just keep on going. That's all you can do. And maybe one day you'll say, holy crap, I got a bear tag. And the day you do, I'm going to set you up. We're going to get you a nice, thick ground blind, and I'm going to get you in there, and we're going to get you a bear because I know right where they are.
Well, that sounds great. The neat thing about my location and yours, I live, 25 minutes from the Canadian border.
Okay.
To cross over, and actually, you're kind of nuts to cross over in Sarnia and drive through. Well, it's beautiful. The gas is so darn expensive. You're better to go up to the Sioux and then head over.
Right.
And you go up to the northern peninsula of or the upper peninsula of Michigan, cross over from Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, you instantly are in amazing bear territory. And they're covered with bears up there. That's kind of one of the spoiled things that we have in this state is if you don't draw a tag here, getting to a bear hunting area is not an impossibility.
No, it's not. That's so true, too. I mean, you're not far from Ontario. If you want to get out there and experience a great hunt, bear hunting is definitely something you got to put on your bucket list and at least try it. Just give yourself a good try and, get up there. And like you said earlier in the show, Ontario is just beautiful to look at, regardless if you get a bear or not.
Just make sure you take a good bug repellent because they've got bugs that'll eat you alive.
Yeah, you're not lying, man. Oh, my gosh, there's fish up there.
You haven't got an elk here in Michigan. Have you gone anywhere outside of Michigan to hunt elk?
No, I have not. We have a staff member, Mike Hausman and Jeff Stockhill. They go every single year. They'll go on public land. Gina and I, we're hunting partners, and then Mike Hausman and Jeff Stockhill, they're partners. As far as me and Gina go, we primarily hunt public grounds in Michigan. We'll travel the state looking for public land, and we'll get on bucks, and that's what we enjoy doing. We work hard for what we kill, and I think that's what keeps us going is hunting public grounds. It's a completely different way of hunting. It's not even close to hunting private property. It's a completely different game, but it's a game that Gina and I enjoy. But as far as elk hunting goes, Mike Hausman and Jeff Stockhill go every single year, public grounds, Colorado or Montana, and they've been successful 5 of the 6 years doing it by themselves, setting up camp and living off the land. They go for 2 weeks, and they're really successful at it, which they'll be leaving here next month for their 7th trip, and we'll be keeping everybody updated on Facebook how they're doing, and hopefully they can get it done again. Last year, Mike shot a Pope and Young elk on public land in Montana they were. So, yeah, a lot of fun.
That's a neat thing to do. I've driven through Montana, beautiful place. So there's so much, having what a lot of folks don't realize is the public land here in the United States is amazing. And Michigan is blessed. Michigan residents and even folks coming in from out of state, they're blessed. You have to work for the deer. You have to get off the road. You have to get into the woods, but they're there. I spent 13 years in Texas, and while I loved hunting in Texas, less than 2% of that state is public land.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, even at that, you have to mostly be drawn to go into some of those public places to hunt. So you really are restricted to private land, which makes for a whole different hunt. It's not bad. It's just different.
Yeah. Well, you won't see Gene and I in Texas then. If there's those orange, those little orange signs that are on trees that say keep out private property, you won't have to worry about seeing Gene and I.
Yeah, down there it's either purple painted on the rocks, which tells you it's private property, or it's high fenced. So, and then it's a huge cow or sheep or whatever pasture. Right. But great spot to live, great hunting. It just takes a little work in getting into the areas to hunt it. Well, very cool. I know you're on your way up to Jay's, and I don't want to keep you.
Well, I appreciate you having me on the show, Jayson. You got a really good thing going. Enjoy your show, and I was blessed to get an invite, so I want to thank you for that. The entire EP Adventures staff wants to thank you.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys coming up in September at the...
It's the Woods and Water weekend in Imlay City. It's a great show. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you there as well. And, I hope everyone can make it out to that show. It's always a great weekend. It's right in Eastern Michigan State Fairgrounds.
Right off the freeway, I-69. And so yep. I encourage y'all to head out to it. Go to the show notes, epadventures.com. I'll have a link to it. And you can link right to any of the sponsors that Scott had that we were talking about, the different products, just to check them out. And there's more on there. We just didn't get a chance to run through them all. But there's so many good ones. So, Scott, I really appreciate the time.
Hey, I appreciate it, too. And I'll tell you what, I want you to have me back, and we can do some public land hunting talk.
Sounds good. We'll run on a whole public lands hunt thing because it's a different beast. Completely different.
It is, and a beast is what it is.
But in many cases, all you got to do is get about 150 yards in the woods, and you'll lose almost all the other hunters.
Well, unless they see where you're parking, and then they think, oh, there's deer there. We don't have to scout. Let's go hunt by them.
Exactly.
Which we'll talk about.
Exactly. So, well, you have a safe trip to Jay's. It was my pleasure to have you on, and I really appreciate your time.
Hey, Jayson, we appreciate it, and we'll see you in Imlay City.
Sounds good, sir.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Come early spring, it's getting green. Fish are on the bed, and hear those turkeys gobble. It's ringing in my head. The winterized bass boat, here comes another year. Yeah, we command the outdoors round here. Oh, we command the outdoors. Yeah, we command the outdoors. Come summertime, we're feeling fine, fishing on the lake, flipping jigs in Carolina rigs, from early morning till real late. Bonfires on the creek bank, kick back a couple beers. Yeah, we command the outdoors around here. Yeah, we command the outdoors. Yeah, we command the outdoors. Next year's doesn't till you know winter's on the way. Brushing blinds and deer stands, the fever starts to creep. Fill our freezers full of ducks, lots of tender deer. Yeah, we command the outdoors around here. Yeah, we command the outdoors. Yeah, we command the outdoors. So grab your guns and shells, boys. Put on your camouflage, 'cause we command the outdoors round here. We command the outdoors.